Hello, welcome. My name is Sean, also known as The Beast, and this is my second part of the Hammerheart vinyl mystery box that I bought. I'll link part 1 down below for those who haven't seen it. And there's 6 records this time, a couple of EPs, so let's get on with it. First up, the band are called Scam. The album is called Sounds of a Disease. It's from 2020, and this is a one-man project from Sweden. I believe there's a UK rock band called Scam, so if you're looking for this one, don't get it mixed up, because this certainly isn't UK rock. This is ferocious, a million-mile-an-hour grind, crust, savageness, and it's unrelenting. It's absolutely just 100 mile an hour all the way through. Another one of those with the impossibly small lyrics that you can't see on the inlay card. But I think they do it to test us, don't they? To see if we're actually trying to sing along or not. But yeah, so that's the first one. Second one is WSOBM with a very shiny cover. Now, WSOBM stands for, and I wrote it down so I don't make the same mistake, White Snakes of Blackened Maize. The album is called By the Rivers of Heresy. This also came out in 2020. These are from Belgium. It's their debut release, and it's classed as avant-garde black metal. Sorry, avant-garde progressive black metal. I wrote some notes because it's not. I don't think it'd be one for the black metal purists, because the vocals are really good, but it's almost spoken, and it's not, you know, the harsh sort of screechy vocals that you associate with black metal. This is really a really entertaining record, actually. So it's. Have we got an inlay? Yes, we have got an inlay. Again, fantastic piece of artwork on that side, and the lyrics on that side that are quite readable for a change. So yeah, it's superb musicianship all the way through it, and the reason I enjoy this one as much as I do is purely because of his vocals being almost like an audio book. He's like telling the story type thing. Really, really good album. And again, as with the previous album, considering there were blind buys in a lucky bag, the 4 in part 1 and these 2, there's 6. Yeah. So for the equivalent of around about 80 UK pounds, yeah, well worth it. Now I've said that, the following 2 are slightly, they took a little bit more for me to connect with. Have I really connected with them? Album number 3 is by a band called Saturnian Mist. The gentlemen are from Finland. It's their 3rd full length, and this is black metal. The album title is called Shamatanic. It came out in 2021. The vocals on this have got a slightly more like deafened black metal. I struggled to connect with this one, to be fair. I haven't quite given it as much love as the others. I mean, it's not one that I'd ever think, nah, I'm going to get rid of it. It is an entertaining album, but for me at the moment, this is an album I'd put on sort of like as a background noise if I was busy doing something else, you know. But it's certainly not a bad album. The colour of the vinyl is quite garish. Have we got an inlay sleeve? I believe so. In fact, we've got. So there's one side of it. There's Matey Boy looking all menacing and mean, and whoa! And there's the lyrics. Again, you can read them ones. But yeah, it's certainly not a bad album. But it's not, as of yet, it hasn't really, I haven't really connected with it like I with others. But again, if you're inclined to a fan of black metal, it's not, you know, it's not Emperor, it's not Mayhem, it's not like First Wave, but it is, it's okay, it's okay. Right, the next band are called Surut. They are from Finland. This is their debut EP, self-titled. It says on Metal Archives it's classed as blackened experimental hardcore. Now, I like hardcore, I like experimental hardcore, and I like grind and such like. This, similar to the last one, I've struggled a little bit to connect to this one. Now, everything's in Finnish, so obviously, you know, even though it has got a lyric sheet, no idea what it says because it's in Finnish. There's the geezers there, all looking mean and macho, and the lyrics legible, but unless you speak Finnish, probably not doing much good. It's good. It's very aggressive. The mix, production-wise, is very thin, and probably that's maybe one of the reasons I struggle with it. It's more almost DIY. It's not DIY. It's better than that. It's being disrespectful to it, but there's just the vocal mix seems quite like as almost as an afterthought. You know, it's sort of, yeah, well, we've heard Matey before shouting, and yeah. But again, for a debut EP, I'll certainly stick with it. It's not going anywhere. It will get spun more times till it'll come to a point where it'll be either, yes, I get it now, or no, it's somebody that I think might enjoy it more. I'll get it in a VCLT. Well, yeah, Surut, and their self-titled debut EP from, did I say when it was from? 2020. No surprise. The next one is, out of this lot, the only band I've actually heard of before and already own some of their material. And it is the mighty Hooded Menace, even though I can't say it, and Gloom Immemorial. This came out in 2014, and these are from Finland, these gentlemen. They are some of the they do some of the best death doom you could ever wish for. This it's a compilation of, I believe it was EPs and splits and singles, and they just, you know, they put them all together. I think I saw Liam quite a long time ago show the CD version of this in a little box set, and all the like little postcards or something that had all the singles covers on and albums covers on, and it's really, really good. It's, if you've never heard Hooded Menace, this is very slow, thick, heavy doom death, glacial at times with its, you know, the tempo. It's just superb. As you can see, it's got all the pictures and off the album covers or EPs or splits or whatever they came from, and the lyrics on the other side. But this was, as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, yeah, superb, absolutely. Not even going to try and put that in there. Yeah, it's really, really good. It's if you heard their last album, The Tritonous Bell, it's a little bit doomier and heavy than that. I think they've sort of, you know, as time's gone on, they've rounded out the sound a little bit more, maybe, or production's maybe better or stuff. But that is an absolutely, it's superb release, and that is definitely worth picking up. Again, these are all still available on Hammerheart Records. So, right, now this one is, out of the whole 10 that I got, this is my favourite. I've spent more time with this one than any of the others. It's a band I'd never heard of before. There are a lot of bands with this name, so if you find out, I might as well tell you. The band in question is called Empress. The album is called Premonition from 2020. These gentlemen are from Canada. It's their debut full length, and on Metal Archives it's classed as doom, sludge, post metal. Now I'm sure there's people out there that know what post metal is. For me, it's just another genre with a title that I don't really need to know it. But this is an album that's got so many different layers. There are extremely doomy parts of it, with riffs and hooks that absolutely just grab you by the throat and swing you around, and you know, no messing. There are vocal parts of it that are very shouty and aggressive. There are melodies and harmonies in it that you would think, wow, where's that come from? This is one of the cleverest albums I've heard for quite some time. There's no if you listen to it one track and then you jump forward and listen to track 5 and then you went back to track 3, if you were none the wiser you could possibly think that's 3 different bands. They play a similar type of style, but it's definitely 3 different bands. The bass player, a gentleman called Brendan Gunn, unfortunately passed away just before this was released, so the album is dedicated to him. I don't know if the guys that outlived Brendan decided to make it like sort of like a cathartic process to sort of get all their emotions out and maybe help heal a little bit. But what they've done with this is, to me now, this, as I said to you now, this is a 10 out of 10 album, and it would have easily been top album of 2020 if I'd had a YouTube channel back then, and if I'd owned this. This is absolutely superb. This is one of the this is going to sound stupid, it's so simple but it's so complex as well at the same time. You hear every time I probably played this 15 times in this last week. It gets played 3 times at least every day. Mrs. B is sick to death of hearing it, so I actually managed to get it digitally and put it on my phone so I can just sit there with my headphones on. But I get sort of transfixed and just drift off into just purely into the music. It is such a good release. I'm genuinely going to be keeping an eye out to see what else these chaps do, because this is it's just awesome from start to finish. You see, you can't, I mean, I know we're all guilty of pigeonholing certain bands and saying, oh, that's a doom metal album, that's a death metal album, that's a black metal album. This is just a fantastic musical album that any type of interest in any of the genres I just mentioned, I think you'll find something in this to enjoy. You might not, I might be completely wrong, it might just be me, but for me this is the album, out of the 10, this is the one that's, I wouldn't say head and shoulders above the rest, because there is some good albums in amongst those 10, but for me this is the one I'll return to the most, and I can't see me not continue to return to it. It is absolutely superb. So that's the Hammerheart Records mystery bag, 10 albums concluded. I would say, like I said before, it cost me about £80 UK pound, so if you say £8 a release for 10 albums, 8 of them are superb, 2 I'm a little bit on the fence with. I haven't done bad. I mean, we were in one of the local high street record shops today and there was things at like £40–45, and nothing special, nothing spectacular, you know, it's just the normal run of the mill. I mean, the Maiden albums, £40 each, Slipknot, Saxon, and it's just ridiculous. So the thought of buying 2 albums from there, or taking a bit of a gamble, obviously I could have got 10 that were all garbage. Luckily I didn't. I'll getting a grab bag of 10 for the same equivalent money. It's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. Thank you again, as always, to everybody that watches these. The subs are still tickling up nicely, which is it's amazing, and I appreciate you so much. Keep dropping down into the comments, and if there's any of these you've heard, or if you disagree with anything I've said, please feel free to let me know. That's the beauty of this, the whole community, is we're not all going to like the same stuff. We're not all going to agree with, I might say that Empress album's fantastic. Somebody might be sat watching this now saying, oh, I've heard that, it's an absolute bag of dog shit. It's fair enough. That's what makes the world tick. In the background, and for some reason it stopped playing, we are listening to the incredible Fugitive and their EP. Is it classed as an EP? I suppose it is. Maniac. Now, if you haven't heard this yet, this is just balls to the wall thrash metal. A couple of the gentlemen out of Power Trip, and I believe somebody out of Creeping Death, but I might be getting that mixed up, I'm not sure. But yeah, if you haven't heard this yet, it's still available on CD and on vinyl. What's inside it? Yeah, there's the fellas looking all mean and moody, and of course the lyrics on a very floppy piece of paper. But getting floppy happens to us all when you get to a certain age, Bit too much information, that, wasn't it? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, if you stayed this long, and got a couple of bits and bobs. Actually, before we go, it's slightly off kilter. I've just finished reading this, To Live Is To Die, the all about Cliff Burton, obviously, by Joel McAvee. This is one of the best metal biographies I've read for a long, long time. For somebody who is so important, or I think was so important to our genre of music, there seems to be very little written about him. Now, I think this might have been released a couple of years ago, and then this has been updated because there's mention of that 72 bags of wank thing that they released near the end. But this is a fascinating read, and I've always been a fan of Cliff Burton and bass players in general. This makes me even more heartbroken to have never seen him. I know Johnny Mac got to see him play with him. He sort of mentions it every time we speak to him. But yeah, fascinating book. I think I got this one off Amazon for maybe £10, £15, something like that. It wasn't very much. But yeah, it's a superb read about absolutely genius at his craft. Anyway, enough waffling. Thanks again for watching, and till the next time, cheers!